Thank you to the gentleman for yielding. Regrettably, I will not be able to support this bill either. It's another $1.4 billion of mandatory spending, no offsets, no sunset. This is another case of the runaway Biden inflation train gaining speed, and the only question at this point to the American people is how spectacular the crack-up is going to be. And the American people know that. When I go out and talk to them, I hear about two things: energy prices and inflation. Well, here we got another $1.4 billion that are going to be poured into the tinderbox of the train to send it careening down the rails even faster. The only question is how spectacular the crack-up is going to be, and unfortunately, the American people are going to suffer the consequences. The author of this bill just said that you'd like to take some species off from the endangered species list. There's one that can come off right now. Right now, that's recovered. And Representative Boebert and I proposed an amendment to delist the gray wolf. It is recovered. The gray wolf is in the ESA Hotel California. They can enter, but they never leave. 25 wildlife scientists from the upper Midwest a decade ago said, you need to delist the wolf. We put together an amendment for this bill, and it was not considered. Terribly unfortunate, because it is time for the Endangered Species Act to either be used properly and delist a species like the wolf that is fully recovered according to wildlife scientists, or else the ESA itself has to be reformed. And those scientists, when you read their document that they wrote, they specifically said the Endangered Species Act is endangered because it's not being used properly. Also, there is no language in this bill that prohibits funds from going to acquiring new federal lands. Think about it this way. If you have a neighbor, doesn't repair their roof, it's leaking into their house, and they say, we're going to go buy that lot next door. That, in effect, is what this bill will allow the federal government to do. And we're seeing across America, including in my district, that the federal government is not taking care of their lands appropriately. The federal government is becoming America's slumlord. This bill has grant programs that even the most extreme environmental groups can apply for. Every time some taxpayer-funded, so-called corporate green group runs an ad, and you're going to see a lot of them here in 2022, claiming the sky is falling, just remember, you may have paid for it. And you may pay twice, because you'll get hit with the inflation as a result of spending that the American people cannot afford. I want to thank the gentleman for the opportunity to be able to testify on this bill. Unfortunately, I will not be able to support it, and I hope in the future that we can do better.